here, Pep.
Hey, we got the madness. We had big breaking baseball news last night. We have NFL free agency. Like, there's so much going on that I won't even mention that the Lakers lost by 20 to Minnesota. So I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm not even going to mention they lost 124 to 104 to Minnesota. The Lakers tailspin continues. I can't even mention it. So let's move on. Let's go to the big news. Patrick, this came out last night. This was like, I don't know, 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30 last night. That Freddie Freeman, the big name in Major League Baseball free agency, the all-star first baseman, great defensive player, great hitter. He has signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's going to the Dodgers for 6 years, $162 million. I know they lost Corey Seager, but this Dodgers lineup is probably even better this morning than it's ever been.
It is surprising. My son is super pumped to get Freddie Freeman, and I believe he's an Orange County kid, so he's kind of coming home here, Freddie Freeman, to the Dodgers. I also was surprised that Freddie Freeman has been in the league for 12 years. That kind of shocked me a little bit.
Yeah, he has been. You know what? And maybe here in Southern California or the West Coast, like Freddie Freeman, like, oh yeah, I've heard of that guy. You know, he's not like maybe necessarily a household name. He's a former MVP. Like, he's one of the, if you look at the stats for first baseman across all of Major League Baseball, he's been one of the best for the last decade. Like, how the Dodgers got him, now they have Mookie Betts and Cody Bellinger, and I could go on and on and on. Like, their lineup is going to be crazy. So the Dodgers just keep shelling out money because, you know, I mean, look at the Giants. We saw the rise of the Giants last season. Like, you have to spend some money if you're going to stay competitive, and that's exactly what they did.
And doesn't it feel like Freddie Freeman is really hot right now? It's like he just won the World Series. He was World Series guy, you know?
Yeah, and he has been, I mean, he's been the poster boy for the Braves. Like, he has been the face. He has been the main offensive guy. He's a Gold Glover at first. He's all those things. And everybody wanted him. Like, tons of Major League Baseball teams were linked to him in the offseason. But the Dodgers can continue to be like one of those teams that were always linked to Freddie Freeman. And could they get the deal done? And when we saw, who was it? I think it was Matt Olson, the all-star first baseman for the Oakland A's. He signed a big deal with the Atlanta Braves a couple days ago. Yeah. So everyone knew, everyone saw the writing on the wall. Hey, Freddie Freeman is on the move. Where will he go? And in the last 24, 48 hours, the Dodgers have been that team that a lot of people have been talking about. And last night, again, like 9 o'clock, 9:30 or so, it was done. 6 years, $162 million to bring in Freddie Freeman from the Atlanta Braves. That's a huge pickup for the Dodgers.
Yes, it is, dude. Big news.
And you look at this Dodgers team, I thought it was going to look quite a bit different this year because Corey Seager's gone. Joe Kelly's going to the White Sox. Max Scherzer has been moving on, that brief stint, with Max Scherzer. It didn't last too long, but he's on to the Mets. So this Dodgers team will look a little bit different this year, but dare I say they might be better, at least at the plate. They might be better this season.
I think so. That kind of adds a little power pack, you know?
Yeah, definitely some power, man. There's no weak spots in that Dodger lineup coming up this season. Patrick, let's move on to we call it the new NFL season. Beginning this, yesterday is the new NFL season where free agency begins. Guys start moving around. Man, it is going down. It's going down fast. Some of the big moves, Von Miller, the star linebacker, defensive end hybrid guy for the LA Rams, going to the Buffalo Bills on a huge contract. So Von Miller comes to LA, wins his Super Bowl, and then he bounces for that big contract. I can't really blame him, though.
I feel like, is Von Miller younger than I think he really has? He's been in the league for a minute, but he's younger than I think. When I saw a 6-year deal, I got to be honest, that shocked me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, wow, but get your money, Von Miller.
Yeah, he did, and he's going to a Buffalo team that was already really good on defense. And if you're the Bills, you're probably thinking, offensively, you're pretty in good shape. Defensively, let's get better, even though they're really good. But let's get better because we got to get past Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl.
And then they just watched him plug into that Rams defense. And I know everyone was like, well, he was hurt, but he was there when you needed him, dude. Yeah. And he's that guy. He can make that play when you really need it. And that's how you win those games. He just did it with the Rams.
Yeah, he did. He's that guy. Von Miller is that guy. He's one of the best in the league right now for a good reason. So the Rams lost a big piece, but for the Chargers, Chargers have been getting it done, especially on the defensive side of the football here in free agency. They pick up Khalil Mack. He's going to be a wrecking ball at linebacker, and they get J.C. Jackson from the Patriots. So the Chargers are probably like, okay, we like our offense enough. We gotta go against Mahomes. We got to go against Russell Wilson. We got to go against Derek Carr. We've got to make sure our defense is ready to go, and let's get it cracking. So they bring in two huge names in Mack and Jackson.
And then look at that. Can you believe Bosa is going to be on one side and Khalil Mack is going to be on the other side? Russell Wilson actually did ratchet up this division just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it is pass rush. You have to have a pass rush or these quarterbacks will kill you.
Yeah, if there was a weak link in the AFC West, I would say it was the Denver Broncos. But now it's not the Denver Broncos anymore. Now they are a Super Bowl contender. They're a playoff team with Russell Wilson at quarterback. So the AFC West just got tougher.
Yeah, and this has become an exciting time in football, but I don't remember a time like this. I mean, pieces are moving around hardcore. Organizations are changing philosophy right in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah, they're throwing around money, right? They're throwing around money, and you're going to chase that money. Hey, speaking of chasing money, a quick shout-out to one of our local guys. He was a starting safety for the New Orleans Saints, Marcus Williams from Roosevelt High School in Eastville, going to the Baltimore Ravens. 5 years, $70 million for our guy Marcus Williams from Roosevelt High School in Eastville, man. That's a good chunk of change.
Good for you, man. Do your thing. You've worked hard for it, you know?
Yeah, and he was a stud with the New Orleans Saints, and now he goes to a Ravens team that always prides itself on defense, right? Like that's kind of what, when I think Baltimore Ravens, I always think defense. Of course, they got Lamar Jackson, but they've had actually several IE defensive backs. Sharice Wright, who's no longer with them, but Jimmy Smith from Colton High School. So they like our IE guys for some reason.
I'll do a quick sidebar on this team. I have a little theory on what's going on there in Baltimore because they locked down their backup QB, if you'll remember. He came in and he filled in for Lamar Jackson, and he actually played better. And they found out he was a little bit better passer than Lamar.
Huntley.
So I think they're going to run Lamar hard because they're not afraid of getting him hurt. So they'll use his freakish ability. If he gets hurt, Huntley steps in. They could do some serious damage.
It's like they got two Lamar Jacksons, right? You know what I mean? So if one goes down, they got a backup, right? You always have the extra one.
But I feel like the backup is a better thrower. I'm sorry, I love Lamar, but I feel like Huntley's a better thrower.
Yeah, he was pretty good last year. There wasn't a big drop off when he stepped in. Everyone thought, oh man, Baltimore's season's done. And it's like, no, he's pretty good. He can hang, man. He's that good.
We'll see what happens here.
All right, Patrick, finally, March Madness begins today, wall-to-wall college basketball. After a long night of doing equations and algorithms and all those different things, I came up with my Final Four prediction. I will give mine first to give you just a little bit more time if you need to, think about things, just, give it second thoughts on some teams. But here's my Final Four, and I went with my gut, and I did this quickly. I usually think about this. I'm like, nope, I'm just going to write down what my first thought was. Final Four, Gonzaga, UCLA, Arizona, and Auburn. My national champion is Auburn, the Auburn Tigers.
Okay, wow.
Heavy West Coast, but going with Auburn at the end.
I think you did a much better job than I did on the upset factor because that is one of obviously the toughest things to predict.
Yeah.
But it is gonna happen. We know something is gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I am sticking with Gonzaga because remember I was the one who said I have Gonzaga winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
So Gonzaga out of their division, obviously. I think Baylor is a total pain in the ass. I think they're gonna make it to the Final Four. I am with you on Zona, dude. And there's a part of me that has Pac-12 pride that wants Zona to win this whole thing really badly.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. Really, really cool. And then I'm a Bill Self believer too. I think Kansas is going to get there. And they could be trouble too. That's why I love this March Madness.
There's always, I would say, 2 or 3 teams in the Final Four that you are not surprised to see. They're like, yep, they belong there. And there's always one team you're like, man, I didn't see them coming. So I don't know. Like I didn't pick that one team that I didn't see coming because Auburn's a pretty high seed too. So I don't know. That's what Mark.
Technically, Auburn, that could be the team you're just. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's always one, man, and we're gonna, a couple weeks from now, we're gonna be like, dude, didn't see them coming. Where did this team come from?
It would be the luck of the Irish, Pep, because if you put a bunch of money on Auburn and they won, you would be a very rich man. Pep, jump out to get your stuff.
Hey, check it out. Inland Sports all over social media. We got the Inland Sports YouTube channel. Well, we're keeping tabs on our local guys in NFL free agency, Major League Baseball, and March Madness. That's Inland Sports.
And we will catch up with Pep on Monday. Thanks, Pep.
See you.